Members, it is about time to get started. We have attained the quorum. Item number 1, confirmation of the minutes of the 25th meeting held on May the 10th. We have received no proposed amendments. Can I take the minutes as confirmed? Matters arising. Report on our meeting with the CS, and there is nothing much to report. Business arising from previous council meetings. Legal Service Division report on bill referred to the House in accordance with Rule 54.4. Legal advisor, please. Our paper is LS 54 or 51. That's the Professional Accountants Amendment Bill 2013. The bill proposes to amend the ordinance to permit a sole certified public accountant practicing to incorporate a company with only one shareholder and to register the company as a corporate practice, to prohibit the use of certain misleading descriptions and to make related technical and drafting amendments. The FA panel was briefed on November the 5th, and members did not raise any objection. Members probably remember that during the last term there were members. There was a member who presented a similar bill or private member's bill, but that didn't receive any first reading at the time. Bills Committee. Mr. Leung. I do see the need for a Bills Committee on Professional Accountants Amendment Bill 2013. Any member would like to join? There will be further circulation. Moving on, next to Legal Service Division report on subsidiary legislation, gazetted on May the 16th and tabled in Council on May the 22nd. Legal advisor, please. Will members please refer to paper LS 54. There is one item, Taste Can Tunnel Ordinance Amendment of Scheduled Notice 2013. That's in relation to motorcycles, motor tricycles, and the upward adjustment of tolls by $1 to $2. On the 14th of December last year, the Transport panel was consulted. The members expressed displeasure over the rate of increase. The TAC considered the increase reasonable with good justification. We have briefed members on the right to the power to make amendments, and this will go into effect on the 1st of August. Right? Do you see the need for a subcommittee? Mr. Wuchiwai? I'm sure a lot of members do have different views when this was talked about. So Mr. Wu would like to have a subcommittee. Who would like to join? There will be further circulation. This can be extended to July the 10th, otherwise it will be June the 19th. Business for the Council meeting on May the 29th. There were 22 questions, no bills for first and second reading. Government motion. Proposed resolution under Section 72A(10) of the Road Traffic Ordinance, Cap 374, and Section 4.3 of the Road Traffic Driving Offence Points Ordinance, Cap 375, to be moved by the Secretary for Transport and Housing. On the 10th of May, a report has already been made at the committee meeting. Members' motions. Mr. Lee Chek-yen will move the motion on enacting legislation on collective bargaining, and Mr. Charles Mock on safeguarding freedom of information of the press and the internet. The deadline for amendment will be May the 22nd. Because of filibustering, we're going to handle 3 motions on the 29th. June 4th, June the 4th, universal suffrage for the Chief Executive by Mr. Alan Leung, and also the upgrading of competitiveness by Mr. Lam Tai Fai. So there will be 3 motions for next week. Any questions? Business for Council meeting on June the 5th. There are 22 questions and nothing for the first and second reading. Government motion, proposed resolution under Section 727 of the Companies Ordinance 20 of 2012 to be moved by the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury. Will members please refer to paper 55. The proposed resolution seeks the approval of LegCo of the company's unfair prejudice petitions proceedings rules made under Section 727 of the Companies Ordinance. The rules are made by this is the unfair prejudice petitions under the Companies Ordinance, and this ties in, the commencement date will tie in with the commencement of Section 727 of the Companies Ordinance. There is no precise date for the time being. And there is a subcommittee under the House, chaired by Mr. Wong, that will be interested in scrutinizing this resolution. So we have a subcommittee on Companies Ordinance under the House. So this will be, as usual, referred to that subcommittee, and as usual, we will ask the administration to withdraw the resolution for the subcommittee to have sufficient time to look into this. Members' motions. Motion on maintaining and enhancing Hong Kong's position as an international financial center by Mr. Ng Leung Sing, and building a safe city by Mr. Chen Kin-po. The May the 29th will be the deadline for giving notice of amendments. However, because of filibustering on June the 5th, we're going to have the family-friendly policy motion by Ms. Starry Lee, and collective bargaining by Mr. Lee Chek-yan, and also freedom of information by Mr. Charles Mock. The subsidiary legislation, the list of subsidiary legislation has been made available to members. If members would like to speak, please let the Secretariat know no later than the 5th of June. Report of the Subcommittee on Proposed Senior Judicial Appointment.
Proposed Senior Judicial Appointments has completed its work of examining the proposed appointment of the Honourable Mr. Justice Joseph Paul Falk, SCJP, as the permanent judge of the Court of Final Appeal, the Honourable Mr. Justice Patrick Chan as a non-permanent Hong Kong judge of the Court of Final Appeal, and the Honourable James Spiegelman and the Honourable William Gamal as non-permanent judges from other common law jurisdictions of the Court of Final Appeal. The subcommittee supports the senior judicial appointments recommended by the Judicial Office's Recommendation Commission. In the course of our deliberations, members have urged for greater transparency in the senior judicial appointment process for better public scrutiny. Concern has also been raised about the appropriateness of the Secretary for Justice to be a member of the Judicial Office's Recommendation Commission. Chairman, the subcommittee has no objection to the administration giving notices for moving motions to seek the endorsement of the Legislative Council of the recommended appointments. Thank you, Chairman.
As of May the 23rd, there are 14 bills committees, 6 subcommittees under the House, and 7 subcommittees on policy issues under panels that are currently in action. There are 3 subcommittees on policy issues that are on the waiting list. There are 2 bills committees that have gone beyond 3 weeks. Bills Committee on Pesticides, Amendment Bill 2013, and Bills Committee on Trust Law, Amendment Bill 2013. Moving on next to the appointment of a subcommittee to prepare for the operation of the Select Committee, to which the petition presented at the Council meeting of May the 8th has been referred. Having regard to the arrangements for setting up Select Committees in the past, and the fact that it is the first time that a Select Committee is formed pursuant to Rule 26 of the Rules of Procedure, it is recommended that a subcommittee be appointed by the House to undertake preparatory work for the operation of the Select Committee. Comments, please. No? Who would like to be part of the committee? As usual, the Secretariat will be writing to members in this regard. Ms. Emily Lau, any fixed number of members? We informally agree that there should be 13 members for the Select Committee. In fact, there is no ceiling on the number, but we hope that the members will be transitioning to the Select Committee, so the Preparatory Committee will have 13 members also. The House Committee has to make a recommendation to the President about the number of members, and the Chairman of the Select Committee. Mr. Ip Kwok Him, I've got nothing to add. You said what I was going to say. What is the time frame? Do we have a timetable? How soon are we going to get this completed? Well, as usual, there will be a committee to be formed and members will be duly notified. It might take a bit of time. And the most senior member will decide on the date of the first meeting. There will be a whole series of steps to be taken. Mr. Abraham Sheck, Chairman at the PAC this morning, we received from the Director of Public Prosecution a letter regarding Mr. Timothy Tong. Perhaps you might wish to call upon the legal advisor to brief members on the details of the letter. That DOJ letter would not make any difference to our work, but I hope that members will share of the details of the letter. Well, you're going to convene the Select Committee. I think it would be a good idea for you to have some knowledge of the DOJ letter.
Legal advisor, but I think a member would like to speak. Yes, Ronnie Tong and Sid Ho, but then I would rather give the floor to you first, legal advisor. Just now, Mr. Abraham Sheck referred to a letter. It was quite late this morning that it reached us, and therefore, in relation to the content of the letter, we gave an explanation on the spot. It was issued in the name of the Director of Public Prosecution, and this is in relation to the hearing held by the PAC this morning. In relation to the work of the PAC, we were reminded that in accordance with Article 63 of the Basic Law, criminal prosecution is something vested in the Director of Public Prosecutions without interference. So that's the main point. Our attention has been drawn to the fact that we shouldn't affect his work. Mr. Chairman, if I may add a word here, from what we see is that the executive and the legislature work at different levels. Yes, they've written to us. I think it was done out of good intention. But then we as legislators know what we are doing and they know what they are doing. There was no need for them to have written to us. So this morning we just ignored their letter. Mr. Ronnie Tong. Mr. Chairman, when I read about this in the news, I was quite surprised. We have a system under which, with separation of powers, there's no need for law enforcement agencies to remind the legislature about our work. I think the rules are quite clear as to the definition of our terms of reference. In fact, when the legislature looks into such matters, we look at the facts and we try to find out the truth. I don't think it will affect investigation or prosecution. So I think on this occasion, I would like to ask the Director of Public Prosecutions to be assured that we won't be interfering with his work. Mr. Ho, I did attend the meeting of the PAC, not as a member, but as an observer. I wasn't able to have a full copy of the letter, so perhaps the PAC chairman can give a copy to the chair of the House Committee so that every member will have an idea about it. We have all read the news. We all know that there is a criminal investigation underway. We know very clearly about our terms of reference. As Ronnie has said, we're interested in discovering the facts. So let us just reiterate that all members know what we should do and what we can do. Ms. Emily Lau. I want to make the same point. I think the executive is outrageous here. We have our own way of work. We are also accountable to the public. We are being responsible. We are being supported by the Secretariat, and we have advice from a legal advisor. How come that they have written to us in this way? I think the PAC chair had made a very good point. I hope that he instantly protected the dignity and independence of the LegCo. When you next meet the CS4A next time, please tell them that they shouldn't be seen to be telling us how and what to do. Perhaps we should write to them, ask them to follow our advice in carrying out their work. So is it necessary for them to write to us and teach us how to do our work, how to go about our work? I will reflect members' views. Mr. Abraham Sheck. Yes, I will give you a copy of the letter so that you can send a copy to all members. Thank you. AOB, I have nothing under AOB. Meeting adjourned.